welcome to yet another episode of Choice of a Young Voice. Yes, you are in the right channel. This is where we talk about the different choices young people, you and I, need to make while living in these last days. And we've been talking about financial literacy. We talked about it last week and we are back at it this week. If you are not there last week, please go to our YouTube channel and follow. Go back and look at that episode so that you can be with us and understand what we are talking about today as we continue on this topic. My name is Caroline Okoth. I am your host, and to help us understand more about financial literacy, we have Mrs. Rose Mwaneki, who's here with us. You could say hi to the viewer.
Hi viewers, my name is Rose Mwaneki again, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Karibu. And here we have young people eager to learn, and I do hope you'll make better choices. You're not just here sitting getting good information and going back to, you know, not budgeting and so I hope you're going to learn and make better choices henceforth. So let us get into the heart of the topic. Recap, what did you learn last week? You were here last week. What did you learn? Yes, Kennedy?
Financial literacy and the different ways in which we can make it a reality. Maybe to mention a few.
Yes.
Budgeting, tithing, and also giving gratitude offerings.
Yes.
And savings among others.
Thank you. Anything else? Though, of course, he's summarized them. Basically, what we did last week. And now we want to come back and maybe we could start by talking about quick money. As young people, we want money and want it fast.
Yeah. We
want it so fast. I mean, we can't wait. As in 5 years and I'm still earning 30K. And why do you think, let me start with you. Why do you think we want money fast? Yes.
Because life is short. You see people die.
Thank you.
Okay, I think the problem has been with the definition of success. So most of us think when you're driving, when you're able to get into a supermarket and just buy what you want whenever you want it, when you're able to fly around, that is success. And so people want to reach there so
quickly. Yes. Kennedy?
Most could be caused by things like poverty. And so it gives you a pressure and some impatience for you to get it as fast as possible in order to make an end to some of the challenges that you've gotten along the way. Yeah.
Thank you. Finally, for now, passing the mic.
Because we want to own everything in a shorter time.
Yes, we want everything. I mean, who doesn't want? And the thing is, now these reasons that they've talked about now leads us to making bad decisions, like getting into betting and gambling. And maybe you can talk a little bit about why we do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, listening to you.
Yes, and corruption, I've heard you.
Yeah, listening to the young people, yes. Young people today want to get rich quick. And that's a fact. I am saying this because I have young people in my house as well, so I'm not talking about others. And I can reflect on what we who are older. And there's nothing wrong with getting, but getting it quick may not be the right way. You know, I keep on saying, it took you how many years to go through school? It takes eight years in primary, 4 years in high school, another 4 years. Those are how many?
16.
16 to get to know where you want to be. And you want to be rich in 1 year. Does it make sense? Young people, it doesn't make sense. And so when it comes to money market, you want to know that Rome was not built in a day. And, you know, when you take the first step it is going to accumulate to 1,000 steps. I would rather be very systematic and make it later, and I can look over and never be afraid. Many people are in big things, but they can't look behind. They can't look over their shoulder. They are afraid. One, because inside of them, there's no peace. And they always think there's somebody chasing them. So this quickness of getting rich, quickness of getting money. Let me give you an example. I've worked in the industry, in the financial sector for 14 years. And you find probably it has taken a long time to buy a good car. A long time. A lot of savings. And a young guy comes and they think, oh, I want to park a car just like this one here in 1 year. and normally what happens in that way, they'll go into any lengths, either borrow or they take somebody else's money. So they will become fraudulent. And just to match with people who are older than them. For you young people who are seated here, listen to me clearly. Quick goes quick. If you remember nothing else. Come easy, go easy. When you spend money that you have earned quickly, you live with regrets. When you systematically go through life and you start accumulating one thing after another, you may not start with a vehicle, and it's not necessary. It's not necessary. But there is a time you need a vehicle because you have children to take to school, isn't it? But you also have accumulated experience. So it is important for us to do this. So what we are seeing in the country, and I can tell you without fear of contradiction, is that many young people are getting into trouble right in the university. I want you to Google and pick reports that have been written on young people and gambling. Do you know what percent it is? 77% of young people in the university today are problem gamblers.
Wow.
Meaning 1 out of 8, because you cannot divide 77. So 1 out of 8 people out of 10 are struggling with gambling. This is studies that have been done and studies you can read. I will send them to you so that you can read for yourself. Number 2 is that the gambling in our country is at such a high level that the whole world is coming to learn from here. Because even in US, they don't do gambling online. You have to go to the casinos. You understand? Yes, you have to go. Because that regulates. But here, even a 2-year-old child who knows your PIN can get into gambling, can get into money, mobile money. It is that serious.
Wow.
And I have personally seen many people running their heads out, looking for ways to enter into the gambling industry because they think there is money in it. The word of God says, I'll blow it away. Because God blesses hard work, He doesn't bless luck. Okay? And when we go into gambling, we are dealing with luck, isn't it? God talks about hard work. So that is something I want. Now, for people to really satisfy their curiosity in gambling, what are they doing? They are borrowing. So that you borrow to gamble. So you come to me, you borrow my money, and then you go and gamble to multiply it. To multiply it. That is the whole thing. To multiply it quickly so that you return what you have borrowed, and then you go on with your luck trying it again. Now what happens is like you get into a vicious circle. You borrow from me, you go and lose it. Because you see, they entice you to start gambling by ensuring that you earn very little. You start with, you want to gamble, they say it's 100 shillings, you earn another 100. Then they say it's 1,000, you earn 1,000. But now they are timing you to get hooked so that you come with your 100,000. That's when you now go to somebody borrow and then now come and try your luck. And the whole of that 100 goes.
Gone.
And so we are entering a situation that is very serious. It is so serious. You only need to be in the financial market to understand the dangers young people have entered into. Then you know what I'm talking about. Then secondly, when it comes now to borrowing, it has reached a point where you know, people are taking their lives. You cannot pay anymore. So what do? We have a lot of suicides among young people in the university. In fact, today, if you hear somebody has committed suicide, go back a little. It's either debt or gambling. Those two. And it's not only our country, it's across Africa. It is not just our country. So what am I saying to you? Satan has developed these traps to get you young. You see where he fights you. You used to call only when you have money. Today, you can call without money.
Yes.
But the moment you call, and sometimes you are not saying anything very useful. You see, you've said something, but you've spent the money, isn't it?
Yes.
The moment now you get money to do something useful, the moment it comes in, it is taken. That is why even when I go to the market, somebody will tell you, please don't put it in that line, put it in this line, in the other one. And even grown-up people like me, and you know, and what am I saying to you young people? The only way to make an income is to wait upon God to give you a job in the line you are trained, so that you earn an income through salary. Okay? If that doesn't work, don't fold your hands. Ask God to help you to use your two hands. And don't be afraid to do even what you didn't think you want to do. Don't be afraid. If you need to go for training quickly to do plumbing work, go. They earn on average 2,500. Yes, they come to your house, they do a small thing, 2,500 you give them. If you are, even if you have 2 degrees and you don't have money, you feel useless, isn't it? But if you have that trained that in that course, and this is where we are saying that even if you've gone through university and you finished, you can still find out of your interest what else can you do. And because you are brilliant, you can quickly learn and then come and start doing some work together with those plumbing that may not know. So what I would want to advise, and what the Bible advises, gambling is a no-go zone. If you have tried it, get out. They are saying it is worse than drugs and pornography addiction put together.
What?
Yes, because you see, socially is not a bad thing. And then it is even made worse by the fact that you can do it privately. So you are not exposed until you are in trouble. You see, you are only exposed when you have reached a limit, and now you are in trouble. You are trying to find out what to do, and that is how many escape into suicide. Or they come and talk about it when it is too late. If you read Ellen White, and she talks about this in Council on Stewardship, she talks about it in Adventist Home. She says, no-go zone. Let me read you a statement here so that you don't think I'm putting this in your mouth and all. I don't know what I'm talking about. She says, and these are many years ago, it's 150 years ago. She said like this, a youth is surrounded by temptations, because you see, gambling is about temptations. You want to cut corners because you've not gotten a job. Now you're thinking you can cut corners, this one. So it's temptations. And she says, he enters the gambling saloon. She knows we used to go to the saloon. But she does, if she was writing today, you can imagine what she would write. Because she'll tell you, they lift their phone and then they start fumbling with. And then she says, to see the sport, and then he sees money taken by the one who wins. And then she says, this looks enticing. It seems an easier way of obtaining money than by honest work, then why should he not help himself in this way? And then she says, he has little means which he ventures to invest, thinking it may bring quite a sum. And then she ends by saying, whether he gains or loses, he is in the downward road to ruin. Whether you win or you lose, you are on the downward road to ruin. Tell me one person who has gained that money and they enjoyed it. Show me one worldwide. If you follow their stories. So gambling is zero, is no for us.
It's a no. Hey, a question. Yeah. Yes, Kennedy.
Someone may have found themselves in the addiction. How are they able to find help and finally overcome, given that
Very
we've
good
understood the dire consequences?
Thank you.
Yes, I'm asking, how are you going to stop gambling?
Please use your microphone.
Yes, how are you going to stop gambling while all over our radio stations, TVs,
It's all about
it's all about gambling. Mara weka 20 bob kwa hii number. Things of those sort.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, mine is quick. Actually, you find that those people that have won, even through the radios that we local channels that we listen to, when someone is called and is told like or informed like you've won, the first thing you'll hear, oh my God. I've been praying about this. It has come. So
prayer.
Yes, we tend to believe that God has actually answered that prayer. So how do we advise the young ones that always believe that actually it is God who has provided? And then lastly, if I have won, you'll always realize that as you were talking about planning and all the rest, budgeting, God first. I won this money and then I put my God first. This money has come tithe and offering gratitude. So where are we?
A final one. Yes.
Thank you. My question, which I believe most people also grapple with, is what is the thin line between? I mean, I know there is a thin line between luck and blessing. If I'm not wrong. So how do you know that this is luck and this is a blessing? Betting and gambling aside.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could respond to them.
Let me start with him. Luck. I am here as a consultant. I work as a consultant. What is luck there? It's hard work, isn't it? It's hard work. God blesses hard work. And that is why, if you read Ecclesiastes 9:10, whatever you find your hands fight to do, do it with all your might. Why? Because I'll bless you. That is just what God is saying. Deuteronomy 8:18, I am the God who enables you to acquire wealth. God is not luck. God talks about hard work. If you read Proverbs 6:6-11, says, go to the ant and see. It doesn't have a captain, but it works day and night during summer. Why? Because it's preparing for winter. And then if you go to Ecclesiastes 11, says, scatter. Even when you get money, scatter it. He says, just put it there, let it build, and at the right time, you get it back. So if you read God's work, there is no luck. God blesses, but he blesses hard work. And that is why I have a problem when somebody says, I was so lucky, I won. First of all, that is unbiblical. It's a love for money. It is not accepted. It is sin. If I was to read you text today, but go and study for yourself on gambling, it is sin. Then you cannot put money that has come from sinful source. And I hear a lot of them saying they'll take to their church. It's okay, they can take. But at the end of the day, it is money not collected from sin, from the right way.
Yeah.
So it is important for us, especially who love the Lord, to understand that gambling is love for money, is a demonstration of greed. And you'll be able to know the people who are behind it are not there to give you luck. Out of one who wins, they say on average 700,000 people lose. So if you tell me it's luck, they have just taken somebody else's money and given it to you. But they have left that money, that person committing suicide. You see, somebody has been given money for fees, they go, they lose all of it, they kill themselves, and one out of the 700,000 wins, and you know, God cannot be in it. And so gambling is a no-God zone for God's people. I don't know about the world people, but for God's people, it is no.
One who's addicted.
If you are addicted, yes, this question we have tried to find out because many people are addicted and they are coming out. I was listening to a media personality who has lost everything. He was on news, you know, he was on show like this, talking about gambling and how it destroyed him and he lost his family. And, you know, at the end of it all, he said, it's a tough walk back, but you may need people to help you out of it. So the beginning, when you are addicted, is to talk about it. If you have hidden it from your parents, openly let them know. If you have squandered everything, just let somebody know. We don't have counselors that are good in this so far, but I'm sure others are now training to fill the gap. But like all addictions, it's normally a tough walk back. And it's a decision you have to make that I must get out of this. And even if I've lost my family, even if I've lost all the money I had, I can begin again. And where is the beginning? Is becoming busy. Go get busy with God's word. I was listening also to a big man who is he's not of our church, but he's one of the people who got into this early. He got you know, addicted to gambling right in UK, and when he came here, he went into deep, you know, gambling that he owed people 60 million. And he ran to the church. He ran to the church and said, please help me. He's never left the church. He's not paid everyone he owes, but he's saying slowly and slowly he's paying. He started with the small sums, you know, like if he gets a little money, he pays whoever he had borrowed to gamble, and then he tells the others, please wait. So some people will not agree with you, but what can you do? Yeah, so it's a hard work, and you have to get out slowly by slowly until you are free again.
Thank you so much. We'll now get into debt, but even before that, maybe just one or two more reactions because we need to go on a break. Yes, pass him a microphone, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to react a bit. I've realized that there are some conditions that can force you also to be even get into some activities that are not good. For example, during this time of February on 14th, that of Valentine's. Yeah, a friend of mine had a girlfriend, and during that time, that of my friend was not good. Yeah, with the pocket, and the girlfriend decided to have an old man with money to fund her. Now you see, I was like, the story came to me, and I was like, why can this lady decide to do this? Because see, people are going out, but the boyfriend is not in a position to take her out. Now we are speaking of getting quick money. And you see, like most of us, we get into having this quick money because of pressure and again some of the conditions. I have to go out, and if you can't take me, I have to get someone to take me out. So you see that.
Truly, that's something a lot of us young people are going through currently. And we're talking about quick money and avoiding making bad financial decisions. So some of these comments are going to be responded to after the break, and we are also going to be talking about debt. which is another aspect very similar to what we've been discussing, but we need to understand as young people how to overcome it. So do not change the channel. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back. You are still watching The Choice of a Young Voice, and we are talking about financial literacy, quick money in particular. We've talked about gambling and the effect, and it's a no-go zone. It's been made so clear to us today. Before we went on a break, he asked a question that I'd like you to respond to.
Thank you so much. Young man, that girl is not yours. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go. You know, all the signs are written on the wall. She doesn't belong to that young man. That young man needs to be very happy with his life. God will give him the right person at the right time. Anyone who causes you undue pressure, especially to get into financial arrangements that are wrong, is not worth. Remember, getting married is not a joke. Even when you have the right person. So when you have the wrong person,
it's even worse.
They will get you into real trouble. So somebody who, and in any case, Valentine isn't even biblical in the first place. So we are also being drawn into worldly festivals that are to drain us. That's the, remember the architect of many festivals is the devil. Yes, and he has crafted ways. But for me, that one is a good one. I think it's good riddance. Yeah, if she can go out with somebody else, what will change her when you get married to her?
Nothing.
She'll still go out.
Yeah.
People don't change because they are married. People go on with their life, and they do it more openly because they say, you knew. And you accepted me the way I am. So I guess that young man needs to really run for his life. That's what I would say.
Yes.
As we talk about making quick money, we have the causes to that extent is because maybe poverty. Because I'm one of the people who are addicted on that. When I was in Form 4, I lacked money a lot to pay even my school fee. And one of the friends told me, oh, it's a way to make money. So when I entered that place, by the way, I remember the first money I won was 10,000. And I paid for my fee. And I said, oh God, Gombe, you can do this. So little did I know that this is evil. Because I now started trying. In that trying, I was just failing. I couldn't even get nothing. So I said, oh, what's happening? So I tried and tried, but I said, this is not good. So from the time I left it, then I've been doing well. So I came to realize that it's evil even itself. Because it will keep you busy doing it until you get it, but you couldn't get it. So I'm also urging those who are addicted on that, that you can change. You can come out of it, is even if it seems hard. Because I've never tried there before. So you can.
Wonderful. Thank you. Before we get more reactions, maybe we could just start and tell us a little bit about debt. Because time will fly.
Yes, it will fly, yes. Now, debt. Debt is money you owe somebody else. It's money that you take from either an individual or an institution that is not yours, that you agree with the person who gives it to you to repay it back over time at a cost. Now, I was a credit manager for 10 years. And so if it is giving loans, I understand it very well. But I can tell you, it is a dangerous zone to be as a child of God. Now, when you look at debt, in God's word, God says no. And I want you to listen to me, because I've given debt to many people. Many have prospered and others may not have prospered. But when I go to God's word, God says, owe no one anything. If that's, you read Romans 13:8. It first talks about taxes, we should pay our taxes, and then comes and talks about other financial obligations. If you read through the book of Proverbs, it keeps on talking about debt. Don't give even surety. Surety is where you stand for somebody to get debt. It says it very clearly. But where it clearly says that you must not is when God is talking to the Israelites in the book Deuteronomy 28:12. It says, you shall lend to many, but you shall borrow from none. So God's children are not encouraged to enter into debt. Why? Because if they have budgeted their money well, if they have returned a tithe, and they are also giving an offering, God takes care of them. Okay? God takes care of them. He either removes you the desire for you, or somehow he stretches the little you have and it covers the 60% expenditure that we talked about the other time. Are you hearing? Yes. Now, if you go to the spirit of prophecy, she says, shun debt as you would shun smallpox. Smallpox was the pandemic of the time of Sister White. If she was here, she would say COVID. And we understand COVID, isn't it? She says, make sure you pay every cent and get free again. Because you can never be free when you are in debt. You can never be free. You will have sleepless. Right now, as we talk, we have a friend who took a big facility with a bank, and they have been asked to move out from the business, allocation where they have been doing. They have a small hospital, and just that movement has made the bank to cancel the facility, and now they are requiring him to pay quicker than what they had agreed, and the man is almost running mad. I would say he's a doctor, and so you have this pressure always that comes to you. Now, so if you look at God's word and you look at spirit of prophecy, it says it is not for you. It's not for God's children. I'm not addressing the world. I'm talking to the children of God. Now, but when it comes professionally, now me as Rose, as a professional, we have what we advise. There are good debts and bad debts. Now, for you is to sit with the financial advisor to advise you on which is good debt, which is not good debt. Now, we are talking to young people. Now, when you buy debt, when you get debt to talk on phone, is that good debt?
No.
For sure, no. When you are in a restaurant, it's Valentine, and you want to take your girlfriend out, and you don't have money, you borrow. Is that good debt? No. You are even answering it yourself. When you have entered into, and you are going to get jobs from this work, you are going to get jobs. Each one of you will get some place to work. But you get a job, and the first car you want to buy is a Subaru. It's a Subaru 2000 cc or 2500 or whatever they are. Is that good debt? It is bad debt. Why? Because you are starting to live beyond your means. You know, if you look at people who get into debt carefree, you find their first car is a ramshackle. You know, ramshackle, those, until people ask, that car is not very nice, but you know, it comes out of savings, so you really love it. Or you may not even afford a car, you may buy a motorbike, those kind of things. So you start small and you grow. You see? So there is, the only good debt I can tell you as a professional is one, education. Many of us have to go into education loans to go to school, isn't it? And hopefully that you get a job. So even now, it's not very good debt because we are not assured of
jobs.
Yes, but it is considered a good debt. Secondly, if you want a home, not many people can raise money to buy a home. So you get into debt to buy a home because you are then not going to pay rent. So instead of paying rent, you pay this debt to pay. But if you look at it, the period is so long, it is almost your lifetime. So by the time you finish the debt, you are retiring. And you have spent all your life paying debt. And you find you have your house, but you don't have any cash. That's how you find people who are asset rich, but they don't have cash. And that is when you need cash to go to hospital. That's when you need cash, to do things that you need to do. You see, so you must think. Do I want to get into a mortgage of 25, or do I want to buy a plot somewhere? So a good debt would be to to go and buy a plot somewhere. Land always appreciates, and then over time you build your house, and you can build it. What we call it progressively. You can start with a small one, and then you expand. The way teachers do. So you know how teachers build. They start with a small house. By the time they finish, they have a beautiful home, and they don't have a debt. You see, they don't have. So it's you to decide. And then number 3, the only other debt that is good debt is business, but not for business beginning. You cannot go to borrow a loan to begin a business. If you want to go crazy, go to borrow loans to start a business. Why? Because 60% of businesses that we start at any one time will fail in year 1. That is from research from World Bank, worldwide. Then 25 to 50% of the remaining 40 that goes to the second year will fail. So it is in third year that the 25 remaining will succeed. And that is why you find even bankers will not give you a loan if you're going to do business the first year, the second year. They start from third year because we work with the research results, the way the results show. Okay?
Yeah.
So there are only those 3. Tell me, when you borrow money to do a wedding, so that people can, you borrow money to make rice? And people eat, and do I even remember what we ate in her wedding? And I was represented there. I don't know. But she already, maybe she borrowed to cook for me. It doesn't make sense. Money for betting, 0. Money for airtime, and somebody was asking, they keep on enticing you. Close your ears. Close those ears. Weka kitu huko. Usisikia? Kama mimi, I don't, people say, how many companies are there giving betting? I don't know. But when I'm doing research, I know there are more than 35. You see? I know there are more than 35 already. So truly, what am I saying? Close your eyes to the things you don't want to hear. Why was Job commended by God? Because he evaded evil. Evading evil means you will close your ears to many things and only listen to what you build you. Are we together?
Yes.
So in short, debt is not godly. Debt is not in the spirit of prophecy. And even debt that is good requires advice. So if you come to me as a banker, I will tell you by the side. Tell you, if I were you, I won't take this facility. But because I want to sell, I'll sell to you. But every time I saw somebody was sincere, I would sit with them and we discuss. And sometimes it's just reorganizing your life. You may not need people's money for now. You may want to go on with your business without any money from from outside, so that you build your own money and establish yourself completely so that you can succeed. Are we together?
Yes.
So yes, you can borrow, but it must be good debt. And it must come with advice. Advice from somebody who loves you, not somebody who wants to sell you a facility. That is what I would want to say.
Hiya. Yes, we'll start with you.
At a local church, we are having a harambe to build a sanctuary. And now I'm the deputy chief guest. And I look at my chief guest, he's He works with the airports authority, and I'm sure he's earning some good money. And now me, I'm just a peasant farmer or just a businessman. So I say to beat my chief guest, let me go for 150,000 from the bank. It's God's work. God will bless me. Let me put this money here, and then after the collection, I will start paying it slowly, and then I'll surely pay it at last. Is that
Is it a good thing or not? Behind there, yes, Kennedy.
I stand in the lot of those who really desire to make quick money because of some of the adversities that are just fueling me unconsciously to be done with the poverty and to start supporting the family. What hope is there for us?
Yeah. It's a big question you ask. Let me ask. That could be sacrificial giving. I know people in churches. I was speaking in Mount Olives, one of our churches, and I found there elders who took big money and put it in God's work. And they said, because they don't want to give little amount, and the amount required is major. You can do it. Remember, it's a debt you know you'll be able to repay from probably the business you're doing, and you want to support God's work. I said yes. But if you do not know how to repay it, I think it would be wrong. You'd better give what you can. God somehow has a way of raising money. He has a way. I mean, don't limit God. We are also building. We want 200 million. And we have had two families. One gave their car to be sold, and it was sold. And they don't have a car. They are walking to church. And they said, we can't keep this car when God's temple is not built. We have also another family that gave 2 plots that are going to be sold. Sacrificial giving for God's work. And so when I found these elders, they took loans, 3 million, not little money, and he's paying. And I know God is going to bless him. So calculate, ask God, he'll show you the way. Okay? But don't go so that you beat this man, you know, so that they can see the peasant. You may also flame yourself, because next time they would be thinking, you know, you won't tell everyone
God
I went
loves a
to borrow.
cheerful giver.
Yes. So don't compare yourself. For poverty, Jesus says, the poor will always be with us. But if you read clearly, God's children were never poor. Just show me one who was poor. Just show me one. But one thing they did, they were hard workers. Many of us would still be poor, because you are saying you are poor. What about us who came from the villages? And somehow God pulled us out and made us who we are. So God is able to handle our poverty. But do what you are doing diligently. This country is built by most people who can say are very poor. So many of the people you are seeing as big people today, if you looked at their lives, you would see where they came from. Very humble. They call it, they don't say poor. We say humble backgrounds. But God somehow raises them. Ask God to raise you up. And especially if you want to be raised, one, to help your family. He will. He open doors for you. If it is to help his work, he will open doors for you. So don't fear poverty. I have been fighting poverty now for 30 years. It's not finished. In fact, we say we've made a lot of money out of other people's poverty, because as we train, we make money, but there's still poverty. But I know those of God's children who want to get out of poverty, somehow they are able to engage in activities that get them out of poverty. But if the Lord be that God does not allow you to have much money, accept it. Accept it. It's better to have eternal life and you are poor than to have to go and deviate looking for quick money and you lose eternity. So whatever the Lord's will is, but I want you as a young person to know at the back of your mind, God's children were never poor. No, they were just show me one. Just tell me one. Yes. they were never poor. He raised people up in a way that even them, they looked back and they were surprised. Even now, sometimes we think, hey, is that where we came from? And sometimes we sit in our family, we are 17 of us. We are not all of the same faith, but we look back at our humble beginning and we look at all of us very successful, you know, maybe not very successful, but everybody has a home and everyone is okay. Their children have gone to school. And we look back and we say, truly God has been good. So trust in that God as a young man. He will bring you out and he will prosper you. No doubt about it. Yeah.
As we wind, okay, Faith, since you've not spoken today, yes.
Just a quick one. There are these pyramid schemes. Can they also be put in that group of gambling?
Yes. Yeah. It is. You see how pyramids work? They collect money from few people, from many people. That's why it's called pyramid. You collect money from many people, then you give it to few, and before the others think it's crushed, you know, they kill it. They build it and kill it. One of the things that you always look at when you want to put your money for investment, and I know I didn't talk much about investment, is the interest that is being offered. Okay? That should tell you everything. If you go and you find they're telling you 20, 30, 40%, it's not true. Because if you look at our country, it's growing at 5%, 6% at max. So if you go somewhere and you are being given an interest of 9, 10, it's okay. It's within. But if you start hearing 30%, 40%, ask a question, ask for advice. I'm not saying you don't, you know, I don't want to look like I'm not, you know, trusting other people's businesses, but ask yourself from where? If an economy is growing at 6%, how would you justify an interest of 30%. But if you look at the money market, like where you can put your money is in treasury bills. That's what gives you a clue of what interest to expect. If you look at the treasury bills, and you are learned people, please start looking at such treasury bills. They are selling at 7.2, 8%. And if you look at the money market, where you put your money, that where people, you put it in units, you know, they get money from different people and then they put it in the, what we call the money market, they put it in other companies, it is 9%. So if somebody gives you 10%, yes. If they start talking of 20, that's a pyramid and it will not last. And the sad thing is normally calculated. It's supposed to work a certain period and then goes. And it leaves devastation. You remember when we had the problem of pyramids, you must have been very young, many people committed suicide. People lost their homes. People lost their marriages because of trusting money that was not going to last. So if you want to put your money somewhere, again, advice. And advice is this: if you want any money to grow, there are different places to put. If you have an account in any commercial bank, we have fixed deposits. That gives you better than the interest you get in a savings account. And then if you don't want to leave it there, you can open an account now with the central bank and buy T-bills. And you can do it on phone, you see, so that you now move your money from the commercial banking sector. And you do it. It is still in your account, in a commercial account, but you will still have an account with the central bank and you can transact T-bills. Now I'm telling you for future. And then if you want your money to sit somewhere where it's safe, there are many companies. We have big companies that are doing what we call unit funds. You put your money there, it is safe. If you want it back, in 3 days you can get it back. If you want it to sit there for a whole year, you will get your interest. It's compounded every quarter, and we'll send you statements. So truly,
we need
don't
another
go
episode.
Into the pyramids.
Please give your last word of encouragement. The last 30 seconds.
Yeah. Now, young people, one thing we've said, and I don't want you to forget, gambling is no for us who love God. Don't go there. If you're already there, get out. Get out. Find help. Talk to a professional. Talk to a counselor. Now people are starting to build knowledge in this and they are consulting on it. Okay? Secondly, is on debt. Unless it is good debt, leave it out. If you're already in debt, pay up. We start with the small amounts if you find the income you're earning is not able to cover, you can expand your sources. But please do not get into unnecessary debt. We've already seen what is good debt. Any other debt outside that is bad debt. But we've also seen and emphasized that God is not for debt, and the spirit of prophecy says no. So we call it a spiritual decision for you to make a decision on debt. It must be a spiritual decision. And so for young families, even if you have to buy a home, really seek help. Find out how long you're going to put yourself in debt situation and come out. For pyramids, no. Look at the interests, look against the economic growth and decide. But if you are not sure, call on a financial advisor. Then there are many in almost all institutions. Even if you walk to any bank, you walk to any insurance company, there are many there who do not charge a cent. They are just there to give you advice. So it's my prayer that you prosper even as your souls prosper. Thank you.
Amen. Hey, this has been a short episode, but we thank God. We've learned so much about financial literacy, and for sure in the next season we'll have more on this topic as well. So we need to make good choices as we live in these last days. So see you next week. Have a great week ahead.